Hello, you're listening to Behind the Agony with Ms. Samantha Mann. I'm Ms. Samantha Mann. You may have seen me on the YouTube, where I present Ms. Samantha Mann's Box of Issues. That's a visual medium, of course, with all that entails, but I'm also active on auditory media, such as the internet radio station TRC3, where I'm the resident agony aunt. And it's quite possible that even if you haven't heard me live, you might have heard some of the recordings taken from my Monday night radio program, The Spoken Words of Ms. Samantha Mann. The third strand of my work as an agony aunt in training takes place in front of an audience, notably at House of Idiot, which is an evening of performance at the Market House in Brixton on a Wednesday night here in London. I'm there once a month at the moment, and I thought it might be rather fun to share with those of you who can't be there some of the advice that I've been giving to the people of Brixton. I also thought that it might be fun to talk about the nuts and bolts of the thing, so that if ever any of you suddenly find yourselves in need of a really good agony aunt, assuming that I'm not available, of course, you'll know what to look out for. I mean, there are so many charlatans, aren't there? These recordings are all taken from the pre-Christmas session, which took place on the 21st of December 2016. There was a rather rowdy crowd in that night. It's wonderful that they were in such a good mood, of course, but it isn't terribly helpful for our purposes. Particularly because the recording of my own voice is so dreadful. I don't seem to have worked out quite where to place the dictaphone, I'm afraid. In any case, before we start, just a note to any other would-be agony aunts at large who might be listening. It's very important, if you're wanting to share this sort of material, to obtain permission not just to record, but also to broadcast the session, because some of the dilemmas discussed might be rather delicate. You can think of this as a template, if you like. Right, there we are, so I'll pop that down. So all I wanted to say before we really get going is that as well, I have many hats, metaphorically speaking. I'm also something of a broadcaster. In this modern economy, it's called podcasting. It's less glamorous. One doesn't get any sort of, there's no Christmas party, for example. One can make one's own mince pies, but it's rather cheerless, isn't it? So the point is, I will record this session here because it's my mission to help as many people as possible. So if any of you have any problem with me broadcasting anything that's recorded, just have a word in my ear, because that's how this works. I don't know how so I have to say that for the recording, so that if I get into trouble later, I can say, well, I did say it publicly in front of all of you. You heard it. So, that dealt with. On to the nitty-gritty. This might not occur to all of you, but one of the things that I've noticed, as I've been gaining experience as an agony aunt, is that it can be quite useful, on occasion, simply to provide the most obvious answer to a question. How best do I stuff a turkey? Very good. So that's seasonal, isn't it? It does, well, there's a hole in the bag. I don't know. That's the best way to do it. Why people can't think of these things for themselves, I don't know, but there's no point in getting worked up about it. In these cases, I tend to just provide the answer and move on. Very easily dealt with, and it means that there's more time for everybody else. And let's be honest, some people need more time than others, particularly when it takes a moment or two to really get to grips with what they might be asking. I've recently given up online dating, yes, but I've struggled to meet other gay guys. Should I go back on the apps, yes, to find love, even if it's toxic? There's a lot in there, isn't there? I'm not sure. So recently, right. So, no, I think I understand what you're. So obviously the central problem here is the meeting of the other gay guys, presumably, and whether or not one should. Well, first of all, no, I don't think you should. I think if it's toxic. It speaks for itself, doesn't it? I don't know, it depends. Obviously, I think the thing is, it's very easy to read the newspapers and feel like there's no point living through 2017 and beyond. But I think there probably is. I think there's still hope out there. But I would say, I think the whole thing is based on on a premise which is not necessarily. So I don't know why. Just find another hobby. Goodness There are times when honesty is quite simply the best policy. Dear Samantha, I suffer from terrible stage fright. When I have to speak in front of a crowd, it makes me nauseous. Oh dear, do you have any tips to help me overcome my fear? No, never suffer. Sorry about that. You could take a bucket up with you, I suppose. One way of doing it. And other times when one can afford to be a little more, well, impish, I suppose. I love decorating! Exclamation mark. I can picture you in your dungarees. Yes, so I love decorating. How do I break it to my parents? Well, there's a slightly impish part of me that says, well, you could just wait until they go out. It is always useful to remind people of the importance of consent, particularly where the emotions are concerned. Here's one that says, I'm in love with a ghost. Isn't that lovely? That's not a dilemma, that's a confession, isn't it? Well, I don't know, how does the ghost feel about it? That we don't have enough information there, do we? I suppose, because in some people, I don't know much about ghosts actually, but I know that some people feel that ghosts are tied to a particular place, aren't they? So it feels as though rather the ghost might be at a disadvantage, as it were. If one were in love with a ghost to the point where one wanted to spend all one's time with it, it wouldn't have any, feel probably rather harassed by that. So I would say, I don't know, try to ascertain whether or not the ghost feels the same way about you. I don't know how that would depend what sort of ghost it is. I suppose if it's a poltergeist, they might throw softer things at you. I don't know what you would, but I'm not sure. That's something you probably need to sort out yourself. And, while we're on the subject of boundaries, I might just finish by saying that it is every bit as important for an agony aunt to be clear about the limits of her own role. What will 2016's final be? So I'm not going to read it out, but essentially it means what is the final. It's a word that means I don't like you very much, and could you please go away? I don't care what happens to you. It's that sort of word. That's what it is. And I suppose what you're asking is what's the last thing that 2016? I don't hold with this childish personification of the years. They're entirely arbitrary in terms of measuring the time going past. There's no reason why January the 1st should be any different from December the 31st, and I certainly don't. I don't hold with any of that. I'm just at home any night of the week. I don't know what. But if one is to join in with this, because there's been rather a lot. I have read about it, and I'm on the Twitter, so I'm aware of the stuff going on. And it started with David Bowie. What was the question? Yeah, so the point is, I don't know. How can I possibly tell you what? I'm an agony aunt. I'm not a clairvoyant. So I don't know. I hope that this has been helpful for some of you. I'm sure that many of you have experienced one or more of these dilemmas in your own lives, and I know that sometimes it can help just to hear them being talked out, even if you don't feel as though the solution given here is tailored to your particular circumstances. I really am going to finish now, but I did want to leave you with my final words from the night, which, when one considers that this was the last House of Idiot of 2016, form something of a valedictory message, I suppose. I'm going to leave you now. I thought I should leave you with with something of an uplifting thought as we come towards the end of the year. And as one of you pointed out, that it has in many people's minds been a dreadful year. And I'm sure there are plenty of people in history who would have said, "Goodness me, no, it doesn't match up at all." And there are plenty of people, I'm sure, in 2016 who had a much more horrid year than any of you did. So I don't know quite what. So I mean, that's, I suppose, in a sense, an uplifting thought, isn't it? You know, we can continue. We're all still alive. We're breathing. You all seem to have clothes on, and you've eaten and so on, and you've got drinks in your hand. So, but what I would say, because I think it is jolly difficult. One can't solve anybody's problem. I mean, we're human, and the problems will just keep coming, which is wonderful for me because I'm an agony aunt, and that's obviously what I'm hoping to go into in a professional capacity. But I would say the important thing is just to remember that we're not really alone. Here we are all together. We're not friends necessarily, but I hope that we feel friendly towards each other. And I certainly feel, moments like this when I'm standing in rooms full of people that we can take this feeling that we have here in this room and hold that. That's what I shall be doing. So if you did want to know what I'm doing on New Year's Eve, that's what I shall be doing at this particular moment. But anyway, thank you very much for being here.
Behind the Agony is a production of Ms. Samantha Mann. You can find Ms. Samantha Mann on Facebook or Twitter. Look for Ms. Samantha Mann and at Ms. Samantha Mann, respectively. She is online at mssamanthamann.com.
Oh, thank you for doing that. It's just that I'd feel silly saying all of that myself. You don't think it's too much?